In 2006, we wrote it out of the family. A dwarf, a frozen scrap, a piece of the dark we didn't need to count. Then in 2015, after 9 years of silence, our camera arrived. And what waited there was not what we had agreed to forget. To reach it, you travel for nearly a decade. You leave the inner system, the gas giants, the ringed lord of Saturn. The sun behind you keeps shrinking. By the time you arrive, it is a sharp point of light, no warmer than a street lamp a mile away. A signal from Earth takes more than 4 hours to find you. By the time it arrives, your home has already moved on. Stand on the surface at noon. The sky stays black. The temperature falls to -230 degrees Celsius, cold enough that the air itself would freeze and fall as snow. We expected a quiet rock, a frozen relic, the kind of place where nothing happens and nothing has happened for billions of years. We were wrong. Pluto is awake, and it has been awake the entire time we were looking the other way. The first thing the camera sent back was the heart, a pale shape across the equator, bright against the rust-colored crust around it. The press called it a love letter from a forgotten world. The scientists looking at the same image saw something else. The heart is a wound, a basin carved by an ancient impact and then filled, slowly, over countless ages, with a sea of frozen nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide. They named it Sputnik Planitia, and it is not still. Deep inside Pluto, a faint warmth still rises from the core. Not enough to melt water, more than enough to stir the frozen sea above it. The glacier turns over, slowly, patiently, cell by cell, the way thick soup moves on a low flame. Anything that lands on its surface is carried inward, pulled under, and erased. No craters, no scars. A pristine plain that swallows everything we throw at it. And the whole sea moves in silence. The atmosphere is too thin to carry sound. Walk to its edge, and the ground rises. Not into hills, into mountains. Taller than most mountain ranges on Earth. Jagged, sharp, 3 kilometers high. On Earth, mountains are made of stone. On Pluto, stone is irrelevant. At -230 degrees, water ice has the strength of granite. The mountains are made of frozen water, and they are not anchored to the ground. Water ice is lighter than the nitrogen ocean beneath it, so they float. Whole ranges drifting across the heart at the speed of a glacier, pieces breaking off and moving like icebergs the size of cities. And on the peaks, the snow is a color that should not be there. It is the color of rust. Sunlight, what little reaches Pluto, strikes the methane in the air and breaks it apart, forming heavier molecules called tholins. They fall through the thin atmosphere as dark red flakes. Every summit on Pluto wears them. Floating mountains of water ice, capped in red, drifting across a sea that erases everything it touches. This is what we had decided was not worth keeping. There is something stranger underneath. The heart should not be where it is. The weight of all that frozen nitrogen, pressed into one side of the planet, should have made Pluto roll. Over millions of years, simple physics should have tipped the heavy basin to the equator. But the heart sits where it sits. It hasn't moved. The math only works if something heavy is pulling on it from the other side. Something hidden, something underground. The current best guess is an ocean. Liquid water, kept from freezing by the pressure of the ice above and the faint warmth from below. A hidden sea, buried under more than 100 miles of frozen crust that has been there, in the dark, for as long as the solar system has existed. Older than every continent, older than every species, older than the day itself. We do not know how deep it goes. We do not know what is in it. We do not know if the chemistry that began our world ever began there, or if it began and stopped. We only know that wherever liquid water is left alone for long enough, the question gets harder to ignore. Pluto does not move through this alone. Locked across from it, close enough to fill the sky with its features, is Charon. Not really a moon. Charon is so large that the two do not orbit each other the way the Earth and Moon do. They orbit a point in empty space between them. They are tidally locked, both ways. From the near side of Pluto, Charon hangs in the same patch of sky, always. It does not rise, it does not set. It is just there, watching. Walk to the far side of Pluto, and you would never see it at all. Two worlds, one face turned forever toward each other. And Charon has its own mark. A dark red stain across its north pole, large enough to see from across the system. The stain is Pluto's atmosphere, gas that drifted across the gap, settled on Charon's pole, and froze there. They have been leaking into each other for billions of years. Around the pair, 4 small moons run wild. Nix, Hydra, Kerberos, Styx. They do not orbit cleanly, they tumble, they rotate on shifting axes. They move through the gravity of 2 worlds at once, and the math of their paths is unsolvable. Their orbits change with every pass. We model them, and the model breaks. 4 small witnesses, spinning out of sync, around a binary throne at the edge of the dark. We took its title. We rewrote the textbooks. We told children the count had always been 8. We moved on. Pluto has not noticed. It does not need our naming. It does not need our permission. It continues, the same way it has continued for 4.5 billion years, turning slowly through a darkness so deep that our sun is just a sharp star inside it. The heart still churns, the mountains still drift, the red snow still falls. The hidden sea, if it is there, still waits, undisturbed, unwitnessed, untouched. Charon still hangs in the same patch of sky it has hung in since before there was anyone here to see it. The 4 small moons keep tumbling. None of it cares what we wrote in 2006. None of it cares what we wrote in 1930 when we first found it and called it the 9th. None of it will care when we are gone. That is the thing we keep forgetting about the outer dark. It is not waiting for us. It is not hostile. It is not lonely. It is simply uninterested. We sent one camera once for a few hours. We took our pictures. We learned just enough to know we had been wrong about almost everything. Then the camera kept moving, and Pluto fell behind us into the dark. It is still there now. As you watch this, the heart is still turning. A mountain is breaking loose from the shore of the frozen sea. A flake of red snow is settling on a peak that no eye will ever see. The hidden ocean is still warm, barely, under more than 100 miles of ice. And nothing at all, is watching it. Except, for a moment, you.